The flashes were blinding. A rapid firestorm of light that turned the calm marble floor into a sea of white reflection. Every click of the cameras carried a question unspoken. Every murmur a wave of tension that rolled through the hall like an electric current. Seoul's downtown media building had never been so crowded, reporters packed shoulder to shoulder. Lenses raised like weapons aimed at a single stage draped in soft gray velvet. And when the door finally opened, silence fell, heavy, anticipatory, almost reverent. Yoona appeared first. White blouse catching the light in a way that made her seem both untouchable and painfully human. Behind her was Chaemin, tall, composed. His black suit a sharp contrast against her calm grace. He paused for a brief moment at the podium. Did the microphone. And for a heartbeat. The world seemed to hold its breath. For weeks, social media had been drowning in speculation. A single backstage clip had ignited a wildfire of rumors, hands brushing too closely. Eyes meeting a little too long. Smiles that seemed to hide something more. Are they dating? Became the question of the hour. Hashtags trended. Fan forums burned. And through it all, both Yoona and Chaemin had remained silent. Until now. The moderator cleared his throat. Voice tight against the weight of the crowd. We'll begin the press conference regarding the relationship rumors between Miss Yoona and Mr. Chaemin. The flashbulbs went off again. A burst of white chaos. Yoona gave a small nod. Folded her hands on the table before her. And smiled faintly, a diplomat smile. Practiced and steady. Understand why everyone is curious. She began, her voice steady. Echoing faintly in the high-ceilinged room. But sometimes, the truth is far simpler than the stories people create. Her words hung in the air, graceful but firm. Chaemin shifted slightly beside her. Exhaling through his nose as if steadying himself. For a second, there was only the sound of camera shutters. Then the questions erupted all at once. Are you two dating? When did your relationship start? Did your agencies know? Yoona raised her hand gently. The gesture commanding immediate quiet. We're not dating, she said. Her tone soft but absolute. We've known each other for a long time and care about each other deeply, but as friends. We share respect, laughter. Kind of connection that can exist without romance. Words seemed to ripple through the room, sinking into every corner. A few reporters exchanged glances, others kept typing furiously. Chaemin nodded beside her. Yoona has been one of the kindest people I've ever worked with, he said quietly. But I already have someone in my life, a girlfriend. She's not from the entertainment industry. And I want to keep her far away from this madness. The revelation caught the audience off guard. For the first time, the wall of flashlights faltered. Like a wave breaking on rocks. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, shocked. Skeptical, curious. Yoona turned to him with a small smile. Eyes warm but teasing. You could have said that earlier. She murmured into the microphone. So I wouldn't have to read all those conspiracy theories about us. Laughter erupted, soft and genuine. Even Chaemin chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck in embarrassment. But beneath the humor, a quiet sincerity filled the space. Yoona's gaze swept across the audience, lingering on the flashing lenses and glowing screens. I know how these rumors hurt, not just us, but fans who care about us. And years in this industry. And I've learned that silence often speaks louder than truth. But today, I wanted to speak. Because I don't want kindness to be mistaken for secrecy. His trembled slightly at the end, barely audible. She blinked, studying herself. The lights caught the faint shimmer in her eyes. Chaemin's tone followed. Low and thoughtful. When rumors started. Stayed quiet because I thought people would get bored. But they didn't. They wanted a story, a romantic one. The truth, though, isn't romantic. It's just real. Yoona is my friend. Someone I respect. That's all. The words were simple. Almost anticlimactic. But they carried a rare weight, honesty without theatrics. Reporters scribbled down every phrase. Though the tension in the room began to shift. The air, once sharp with curiosity, now softened into something closer to understanding. Yoona smiled again, that same calm curve of her lips that had disarmed so many before. We're both human. We work together, we share jokes. Take care of each other on set. That's friendship. Nothing more, nothing less. First time since the press conference began. Silence fell not out of suspense, but respect. A young journalist in the back raised his hand. Then what kept you so close all this time? That even fans believed otherwise. Yoona turned to look at Chaemin. He met her gaze. An almost imperceptible smile forming. For a moment, it seemed like they shared a private language beyond words, a familiarity born from long hours under the same lights. Shared laughter after endless rehearsals. Back to the crowd. Eyes soft but certain. Because we listen to each other. This industry, that's rare. The hall went still again. Outside, through the wide glass walls, the autumn sky over Seoul was turning gold. Inside, amidst the whirring cameras and hushed whispers, something shifted. The press conference was meant to expose secrets, but what it revealed instead was something quieter, deeper, sincerity. As Yoona bowed her head in gratitude and Chaemin adjusted his microphone once more, the moment lingered, poised delicately between truth and perception. And somewhere in that silence, one unspoken question remained, shimmering like light on water. If not love, then what exactly bound them so close that even the world could not tell the difference? The silence lingered for a beat too long. Fragile as glass. Then, a single voice broke through from the crowd, calm, curious, and edged with disbelief. If it's just friendship? The reporter asked. Why do you two look at each other like that? A murmur rippled across the room. Yoona laughed softly. The sound light and warm, cutting through the tension like sunlight through fog. Because he makes me laugh even when I don't want to, she replied, glancing at Chaemin with amused resignation. You spend months filming together, through sleepless nights and endless takes, and you start to rely on each other more than you realize. But that doesn't always mean romance, it just means comfort. The crowd leaned in. Chaemin adjusted his tie, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. Yoona takes care of everyone around her. She doesn't even notice it. But she makes every space she's in feel safer. Even the cameras fall in love with her energy. So of course people misunderstand. But to me, she's like a sister, someone who scolds me when I skip meals. And someone who tells me when my acting looks fake. The hall erupted with quiet laughter. The tension that had suffocated the air began to dissolve, replaced by small smiles and knowing looks among the press. Yoona tilted her head, playful. Sister? You call your sister at 2 a.m. for script advice? Chaemin raised his hands in surrender, laughing. That was one time. I panicked before the audition. The audience laughed again. The icy wall between celebrity and crowd finally breaking. The moderator, sensing the shift, allowed the questions to flow freely now. Someone asked how long they had known each other. Yoona answered without hesitation. About 4 years. We first met at a commercial shoot. And kept bumping into each other at events. It wasn't until the drama project that we actually started talking properly. He was shy then. He still is. Not shy, Chaemin protested. His tone mock offended. I just respect people who are terrifyingly talented. Yoona rolled her eyes. Her laughter genuine and bright. That's such a smooth save. Laughter that followed was real this time. Echoing softly around the hall. Cameras kept flashing. Story had changed. This wasn't the scandalous couple of rumor sites anymore. This was two people reminding everyone that honesty could still be entertaining. Then came the question that stilled the room again. Chaemin, you mentioned you have a girlfriend. Could you tell us more about her? He inhaled slowly, the humor fading into sincerity. She's not from this industry, he said gently. She's someone who lives quietly, far from the chaos of cameras. We've been together for a while. She's supported me through everything. I want to protect that. She didn't sign up for this world. The honesty in his voice was disarming. Even the reporter seemed to pause before writing. Yoona turned toward him, her expression softening. You should have told them earlier. Maybe I wouldn't have been dragged into your love story for half a year, she teased. The room burst into laughter once again, rolling like a wave. Even Chaemin laughed, lowering his head. I'm sorry. I owe you a lifetime supply of coffee. Take that, Yoona said with mock seriousness. But I want it with dessert. It was in that playful rhythm that the press conference transformed, no longer an interrogation, but a conversation. One reporter, emboldened by the light mood, asked, Yoona, since you're single, is there anyone you'd consider dating right now? I paused dramatically, eyes sparkling with mischief. Well, she said slowly. It's Lee Jun-ho, maybe I'd think about it. Only if he cooks. The room exploded in laughter. Even the cameramen couldn't hold back their grins. Chaemin clutched his chest in mock betrayal. I knew it. That's why she ignores my texts. She's waiting for Junho's dinner invitation. The energy in the hall turned bright and chaotic. Laughter bouncing off every wall. Yoona laughed until her shoulders shook. Waved her hand as if dismissing the joke. It's just a joke. Please don't make tomorrow's headline about that. Late, one reporter shouted, half joking. That's going to trend. The two stars exchanged a look that said everything: relief, amusement, and the shared exhaustion of being under a microscope. In that moment, they seemed more human than ever. When the laughter finally settled, Yoona leaned into the microphone again, her voice calm. I hope today clears up the misunderstanding. Than that, I hope it reminds people that we're allowed to be friends. Sometimes. Kindness isn't a headline. But it matters. Chaemin nodded beside her. We live in a world where people prefer stories over truth. But we wanted to be honest today, not because we owe it to anyone, but because we owe it to ourselves. Pause broke out, not the thunderous kind, but a gentle, respectful ripple of sound. The moderator thanked everyone, signaling the end. But the two stars lingered for a moment. Yoona bowed gracefully. Her smile soft but radiant. Chaemin followed. Expression light with relief. As they turned to leave, cameras flashed again, not to capture scandal, but sincerity. Outside, the evening light poured through the glass windows, warm and golden. For the first time in weeks, the headlines wouldn't chase shadows, they'd capture something real. As the doors closed behind them, Yoona glanced sideways at Chaemin. Next time, she said teasingly. Warn me before your rumors become my problem. Laughed quietly. Next time, I'll make sure the rumors are about Lee Junho instead. She rolled her eyes, laughing as they disappeared behind the curtain. The hum of voices fading behind them. And when the lights dimmed, the story that remained wasn't about a hidden romance or secret love affair. It was about two people choosing truth over spectacle. Friendship over fantasy. Humor over hysteria. In a world hungry for drama, they had chosen peace. And somehow, that was the most dramatic thing of all.